Boys, it's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at the first co-op alliance, well, alliance co-op, I guess, KIZUNA Clash versus the Kuja Pirates over here on the global side of the game. And I gotta say, I'm pretty hyped, honestly. I'm doing KIZUNA Alliance with the Super Boss in Japan at the moment, and they are a lot of fun. The Super Boss, like, style fights, they just add a whole new dimension when it comes to KIZUNA, and they're just a lot of fun. They make grinding the event a lot more fun to get your Super Boss token so you can actually take on the event. So in today's video, we will be looking at the 10-star event and the 10-star event only. I will be doing a separate video for the Super Boss. I'll hopefully get that out before the event, but I do have a lot of things on tomorrow with work. I do have plans after work, so I am going to be struggling to get that playthrough video out, but I will do it on my lunch break, so don't stress if you guys are looking forward to that. And my Alliance boys, do not stress, because when Monday comes around, we will be streaming, hopefully, after around 1 o'clock-ish Australian Eastern Standard Time, so about news time in the game, and we'll be going ham. We're going to be going ham this KIZUNA. So, as I mentioned, I do have some teams for you guys. I do have a team that doesn't involve a Sabo, but uses a Sabo friend captains. I have free-to-play teams for you guys. I have a one-team completes all. Shout out to my boy Among Us. You guys might know him. He came second in the Koala Treasure Map. Go give him some love on Twitch. He does stream over on Twitch, so make sure to go follow the man on Twitch. He's an absolute legend. I'll try and remember to leave a link in the description, or I'll reach out to him to get that link. And then finally, I have like my teams in terms of like the big damage teams that I will be using once that one team like versus all like struggles. But according to Among Us, it does like 400 to 500 mil, so like you guys should be sweet. But let's take a quick look at the event, and let's have a look at what we're farming for. So, the new Kuja Pirates are coming to the game as a KIZUNA unit, and this unit is very, very good. They have a 5+ as well. They basically have a guaranteed conditional boost. They are free spirit, they are shooter, they're quick. As long as you have 50,000 HP or more, they are a guaranteed delay conditional boost, which is really, really cool. So this is where Super Boss comes in. If you guys don't know what Super Boss is, I will bring up an infograph. As you can see there, I do have a little infograph on the side of what the 10-star event does, but the Super Boss basically has tons of HP, and as an alliance, you have to take down that particular fight. I think they start at like 1 billion HP, and then like if you lose, your next alliance member comes in and like takes over for you. And then you just sort of whittle it down that way. So make sure to chat with your alliance members. Make sure you all jump in at the same time. That way you're not wasting runs. Because 30 KIZUNA Super Boss tokens you have to get by farming the 10-star event. So basically it's the same. Otherwise you get bounty. There are, like you can see here, Crystal Skulls to Super Evolve the Kuja Pirates. And there'll also be Crystal Skulls to Super Evolve Komurasaki. She gets a side grade. She becomes an int unit. So make sure to farm up her skulls as well. Onami will be in the KIZUNA shop. And the Limit Break materials for the Kuja Pirates will be from box 2 to 6. So make sure you get your hands on those as well. Other than that, there's obviously the new boss token stuff. You got to cooperate with your alliance, and you can do like saves and stuff as well. There is a ranking system when it comes to alliance as well, so make sure you're doing your saves where you save your friends, and make sure you are staying on top of your free stamina as well. If you guys have some potions saved up, now's a really good time to use them. There are some missions obviously as well, and you guys can read all this. It's all in game, but basically there's a bunch of powered up characters. These characters have boosted stats, and they will do a lot more damage, so just be mindful of that too. But that's enough about the event. Let's dive into the teams. Alright, so before we jump into the teams, I do want to actually just quickly talk about the Super Boss. Now, the Super Boss, the idea of the Super Boss is they just have a lot of HP, but the gimmicks aren't as strong. Now, as you can see here, this is what the Super Boss actually does. In Battle 1, the Strength Variation, it's a 15-star event. Free Spirit, Slashers, and Fighters get their cooldowns. By the way, huge shout out to the OPTC Twitter for posting these, by the way. Normally the community makes these, but massive shout out to them for making these infographics for us. The boss becomes a super type, which means that if you have super effective against them, you are going to do less damage. And then you get special reverse. So this is where the new Luffy is really, really good. He's basically built for this particular fight. But there are some like zombie teams and stuff like that. So check out some of the JP creators content. I'm not going to get into those too much because zombie teams I'm not a fan of. But like I said, we will be building our own teams to try and see how much damage we can actually get in terms of the max amount of damage output. And they are going to be fairly similar to the teams you do see for the 10-star event anyway. Battle 1 for the quick variation. Cerebral Shooters and Free Spirits get their cooldowns. And then they're a super type when they just give you unfavorable slots. So nothing really too tricky to get around. And then Battle 3 is a Dex variation. So obviously like Luffy, Law, Kid. Strength, Dex, and Quick characters get their cooldowns. There's Burn, and then there's Lock Targets. There's like 2 Kujas in the back, so it's basically built for their final tap. So obviously these 3 characters are boosted in game as well. So you do want to try and use the new Super Sugos if you have them. As for the 10-star events, this is basically what we're working with. So the first 10-star event is a Strength variation. And the 10-star event, basically, Free Spirit Slashers and Fighters get their cooldown once again. On stage 2, you get Hunger and Despair. So this is where utilizing Ace Sabo as a friend captain is really good, because as Ace, you can get around that Despair easy peasy, and then new Luffy has Hunger built in. It is only 1 turn of Hunger, so there is some other ways to actually get around that as well. On the final boss stage, there is a slot change to empty slots. You get Interrupt specials % damage. So basically what that means is if you do a % damage, they will heal back to full HP. If you use a color affinity boost, they give you slot blinds, and once you hit level 30, they give attack down. So the first team I have for you guys utilizes a friend captain Ace Sabo and utilizes the new Luffy. Now this is the team here. We have Luffy as our attack booster. Sabo is just there for base stats. He's just for extra damage. We have the new Zoro. He's great to remove the attack down at level 30, as well as triggering the super type of Luffy, but the Jumanji does that as well. Jumanji's just here for their switch ability. We can just literally use their switch ability, so that way we can get the chain multiplier growth. And then with the super type of Luffy, we can get the 0.1 to the chain multiplier. Law starts the chain multiplier at 2.25, which is really, really nice. And he gives us a nice chunky orb boost. Now, this boa that you see down the bottom here, she's just a placeholder. Once you guys get the 5-star Kuja, you can actually implement them on this particular team, and that way you can easily get a conditional boost through full immunity as well. So this team should work very, very well. Luffy removes the hunger, but if you guys don't have Luffy, there is another character that has been running around for a little while over on the global side of the game, and he goes by the name of Roger. If you guys don't have Luffy, you can easily make Roger your captain. He's actually a better attack booster, but then you'll have to change the ship from the Shark Superb, which you'll pretty much have to do anyway, because with a Sabo, you can not only get around the Despair with their captain ability, but they give us a bigger orb boost for this particular team. Now, Law's probably a little bit better, so then Jumanji's boosted, and so is Zoro. Remember, Zoro's like a hit stick. He has boosted stats as well, so be mindful of that. But this whole team gets cooldowns, which is really, really nice. Kuja, you could literally just replace with any, like, free spirit quick unit or, like, killer or someone that's just going to be a real nice hit stick, you know? Just an absolute meat stick. In the early stages, use the Shark Superb and just use the 1.5 times color affinity boost that a Sabo can give. Remember, you need to just switch with them. The downside to this team is once you do get the super switch, you will be in Sabo form, which is the Dex variation. I think they're super effective against all types. I'll have to confirm. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section below. And while you're down there, don't forget to smash that like button. Hit that big red subscribe button if you're new as well. But if they are super effective against all types, the super switch is going to be more beneficial. And eventually it will be anyway. So that way you have better color affinity. I'm pretty sure they're rainbow. They were rainbow in Japan, so I'm going to say that they are rainbow. You just need to stall early, so swapping the Shark Superb for something like the Liberal Hind would be great. Especially if you are using Roger as your captain. So just be mindful of that. Alright, so moving on to the free-to-play team for the strength variation. Now, we are utilizing Treasure Map Garp as our captain. Treasure Map Garp's really, really cool because, obviously, he boosts free spirit and fighter characters, which his whole team is. And you will be using a friend Ace Sabo as well, by the way. All the teams you see here are going to be using Ace Sabo as a friend captain because they give you more super boss tokens as well as regular tickets for your chest. So make sure you are using Ace Sabo as your friend captains. If you guys don't have Ace Sabo, head over to our Discord, ask for some friends. My friend code is in the info on my YouTube channel, but don't be afraid to add me. Just make sure to let me know what your name is. But Garp's great because Garp's captain ability, if you hit with perfects, you actually get recovery orbs, which means that you can hit perfects on the first 2 stages, get 1 recovery orb, and that way you can get around the hunger. Garp's captain ability is a 3.5 times captain to free spirits and fighters, which is really, really nice. And then he's also our designated attack booster for this particular team as well, which is really cool. We have this particular Luffy. He's great because he can remove 4 turns of attack down. You could probably replace him with Ores, though, the free-to-play Ores. He should be a really good option, and he's actually got color affinity too. So if you guys are missing this Luffy, if you missed this treasure map, I'm pretty sure there's this Ores character, this one here. He's actually a fighter too, so he's probably going to work a little bit nicer. He removes 4 turns of attack down too, so I actually might use him because he's got color affinity. Kizaru here is going to be our chain booster. Remember, Ace Sabo are doing a lot more damage, so while chain lockers are really, really good, Ace Sabo is the one that's going to be hitting really hard, so you want them to be at a very high chain multiplier. This particular Kizaru is going to basically make it a 3 times chain lock. He's a shooter character too, so he does get boosted. You can use this boa if you want to, though, but eventually I'm going to replace this boa with the 5+ KIZUNA booster, so that way you guys can get the conditional boost as well. Finally, this Lucy's going to remove some attack down too. I'm pretty sure it's 5 turns of attack down after level 30. He's another free spirit unit. He was the Rumble Lucy. So that way you've got the 5 turns of attack down. So this team should work past level 30. I don't know how long for, but it should definitely work. And we will definitely do a playthrough with this particular team as well. So, don't stress. You guys will see how this team functions. Alright, so the final team we're going to talk about for the strength variation is the team that I actually put together for like some big unga bunga damage. Now, all these supports aren't essential, but I did slap them all on just to showcase to you guys that you do have a lot of options. So we are using Luffy and Sabo as our captain once again. We are using the Liberal Hind because we do want to get the super switch, so we will need to stall a little bit if need to, just for those big numbers, you know. But like I said, the 1.5 is going to be enough, like, moving forward, so you can easily use the Shark Superb. But I showed the Shark Superb in the other team, so I wanted to show the Liberal Hind in this team. Sabo, they give extra drops, so that's why I do have Sabo on the team. Jozu can remove attack down, so can the Corazon on Law, so can the Chopper on Jumanji, so can the Grandpa Hyoyu. They're just here to get rid of attack down, so I don't need to bring a character to get around that. I'm pretty sure it's 5 turns, so as long as you have, like, 3 of them, you will be good. Like, absolutely fine. Jumanji, again, is just here for their chain multiplier buff. The super typing of Luffy gives us a chain boost. And then the Boa is just a placeholder for the Kuja Pirates. Again, if you guys are, like, just put it, like, a hit stick there. Just put Killer there, put Zoro there. That's going to work absolutely fine for you guys. This team really doesn't need that much else. You could probably do, like, a bigger chain booster, I guess. You have a big orb boost. You get around the despair with Sabo as a friend captain. But again, if you are missing Luffy, you can easily just use Roger. Roger removes despair as well. Roger's going to be really good for this particular fight for those people that didn't manage to get Luffy. He partners with Sabo really well because you can get his super typing as well. He just works really nicely, and Roger's a great unit. So if you do get Roger, or you do have Roger, don't sweat. You will be in good stead, and you will be fine. So that's my team that I put together. Let's move on to the next variation now. Alright, so moving on to the 10-star variation of the quick fight. Obviously, this particular fight is for Cerebral Shooters and Free Spirits. So, Sabo and the new Super Type Law. Stage 2, you get damage reduction. On Stage 3, the boss there is block slots, Special Bind on the crew, interrupt when you do % damage, and then at level 30, they add paralysis. So, this is where, like, the block and the slot bind, obviously you can tell, like, it's only for crewmates, you can tell why they want you to use Sabo. Sabo is going to just basically get around that, and so all you really need to look at is bringing someone for damage reduction and paralysis. So, the first team that I have put together for you guys utilizes the new Super Type Law. Now, again, if you guys don't have Super Type Law, just use Roger. Roger's like, he's just so good. Like, he's so damn good. Roger's a rainbow captain, and you guys can definitely use Roger if need be. So, Law's great because he's our attack booster. He gives the extra damage. And with the support of Sengoku, you can actually get the chain multiplier buff. Now, if you don't have Law, just bring Roger as your captain, and then replace Vivi Rebecca with a different chain booster. Vivi Rebecca V2 are a chain multiplier buff when you switch with them, but you need to make sure you switch into the Dex variation of them, so that way they're boosted more heavily under, you get the color affinity with them. We have a 2.5 times orb boost with Nami and Robin for Dex and Int characters. They also remove paralysis, which is great. We can get around the damage reduction with Sanji and Pudding. I have them here just because they're an absolute meat stick. They can do a lot of damage, like a lot of damage, because I have them limit break keyed. And then finally, we have Sugar. So this team is very cerebral-centric, but we do have Sabo as our friend captain. You need to make sure that Sabo are in their Dex variation to get boosted under Law. But like I said, if you are missing Law, you will have Roger, then everyone's just boosted anyway. And then just replace V2 Vivi Rebecca with the a different chain booster instead of the Sengoku support. So you guys will be fine there. Again, I do have the Shark Superb because in the early stages, like the 1.5 times color affinity is going to be more than enough. But once things do start to get a little bit more tricky, you can replace the Shark Superb with the Liberal Hind and get the super switch of Sabo. So that's going to work really nicely. So that's the non-Sabo team. Let's move on to my team now. Oh, sorry, the free-to-play team. Alright, so the free-to-play team looks a little bit like this. We are using Luffy and Ace as our captain. They're really good, because they are like a 4 times captain when slots are matching for free spirits and shooters. Very similar to Ace and Sabo being a free spirit and shooter booster with their orb boost, which is really cool. We have Toko here. She's going to remove 4 turns of damage reduction. There's only 4 turns of damage reduction on stage 2 when you come up against Grandma Neon, or Neon, however you say it. So she's great, because she can remove the damage reduction there, which is awesome. We have Nami and Robin here. Nami and Robin are an orb booster, so you do need to be careful. You need to make sure that you use the Sabo special before these guys. And they're just here to remove the paralysis, which is super cool. They do have % damage, but they'll just heal that back up. We are using the Clash Sober Mask after 3 perfect, so use his special on stage 2. and then after 3 perfects, you get a 1.1 times chain multiplier. You can easily use him on the other team as well if you're looking for a different unit. That 1.1 chain boost is actually ridiculously strong. You just need to make sure that you hit 3 perfects, so just be mindful of that. And then finally, we have the placeholder for Boa again. She's a 3 times chain lock, so she's going to work a bit nicer than maybe the Sanji in the early stages. But eventually, you will replace her with the Kuja Pirates. Now, they're not going to get boosted. Yeah, they will get boosted on this team because they're a free spirit unit. And then with a Sabo, you just give this whole team a massive orb boost. You have the 2.25 times color affinity. You have block orb manipulation. You have the special bind removal with their special. It just works so damn nicely. And this team is not going to struggle. I don't imagine it'll struggle past level 30. It should have a lot of damage as Ace Sabo going to hit really hard. And that's why you want to bring chain boosters instead of chain lockers. Because Ace Sabo is just going to be hitting miles above anyone else. Chain boosters are great though. Because like you're starting the chain booster like 2.4 anyway. So this team should work nice. Let's move on to my team that I'll be using now. Alright, so very similar to the team that you saw at the beginning. This is going to be my team. I literally just replaced V2, Vivi, Rebecca with Sabo and Ace. They're just there to give us more tickets, basically. And as long as you're in the Dex variation of Sabo and Ace, they're actually boosted under Law. This is what I meant by using the Liberal Hind as well. Like, that's probably your best option of the next ship over the Shark Superb. So in the later stages, this is what I'll be looking at using. But I'll probably be using that one team clears all until I need these particular teams. But until then, like, these teams are going to work fairly nicely. They are going to give me a lot of points as well. And they should do a lot of damage. Like, a lot of damage. We're utilizing Sugar, the chain boost mechanic with Sengoku. It's going to just work ridiculously nicely. And I don't imagine this team is going to have any issues. We are going to bring a friend, Sabo and Ace. That way we can get more tickets. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory from there. So that's my team. Let's move on to the final variation now, the Dex variation of the Kuja Pirates. Alright, so against the Dex variation of the Kuja Pirates, Strength, Dex, and Quick characters get their cooldowns. And this fight was kind of built for Kid. But, like, Kid out of the 3 just kind of... He's the most replaceable, I guess, which is kind of annoying. But, like, look, it is what it is. On stage 2, your left side gets blinded and you get unfavorable slots. On the boss, your middle row gets blinded. Defense, they put up defense up. They have that recovery if you do % damage. And after level 30, they reduce damage over a certain amount, which is that threshold debuff. So, as you can see, once again... A Sabo basically built for this because they removed the bind on the middle row. On stage 2, it's 5 turns of bind, so you can actually get around it with supports, 2-turn supports. But then, as long as you bring a friend captain, Sabo and Ace, you're going to remove the rest of the bind. So the big thing you need to have a look at here is the unfavorable slots, which isn't that big of a deal, to be honest. And defense up on the final stage. So that's the big one, as well as the threshold. But there is a really, really good character to actually get around that. So, this is the team that I built that doesn't use Ace Sabo. It does use an Ace Sabo friend captain, however. So, we do have Sabo as our captain. He's not going to boost Ace Sabo, however, but then he gives that chain multiplier buff. He also gives the chain boost as well as color affinity. But we don't really want to use his color affinity per se. We definitely can use his color affinity, but the super switch of Ace Sabo is going to be better. In the early stages, I'll definitely be using his color affinity, but once it gets harder later on, I'll use the 2.25 because it's just a little bit higher. I do have the support of Mr. 3, though. That guarantees him a strength orb on the final stage, or stage 3, which is very important for verse Ace. But you can also use something like Story Vivi, or literally any character that will give Sabo a matching orb on that final stage. We're using Luffy Sanji here. They're great because they're a really good attack booster. And then we have the support of Rayleigh to get around the 2 turns of blind. We can use their switch ability to get a matching orb on the stage 2 as well. We have Ace for a orb boost as well as a chain lock. We have Usohachi to get around the defense up in the threshold. And then we have Odin to make Wano orbs. Once I do get my hands on 5-star Kuja Pirates though, I will be replacing Odin with the 5-star... what are they called? Kuja Pirates. So that way I get a conditional boost as well. And I imagine that would just do a lot more damage. Eventually, once that happens, you could actually probably do something like that. That could also work. But the super type of Sabo is just like so damn good for the chain multiplier shenanigans. Because you're starting at a 2.5 with Ace. So I'll probably just directly replace him with the Kuja Pirates. Unfortunately, 2 units won't be like fully boosted, but you can always start the chain with the Kuja because you're just going to get so much back-ended damage from Ace and stuff like that anyway. Eventually, once it gets harder, I imagine that doing something like this would actually be a little bit more beneficial, but we'll have to wait and see what the numbers look like eventually at the end. So, yeah, that's the strength team. It should work fairly well. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be better, or that's going to be better, or that's going to be better. For the meantime, I'm just going to do some testing. I'm going to see what this looks like. I don't really use Super Type Sabo all that much, so I am going to give him a bit of a run. You could easily replace him with like Sweet 3 or something like that. They're another really good color affinity booster. Alright, so having a look at the free-to-play team now, I am using Fuji and Akainu as our captain. Because they start as strength, they get cooldowns, and it works really, really nicely. Again, we're using an Ace Sabo friend. Because Ace Sabo in their Dex form actually get boosted under the Fuji and Akainu, they are a 3.75 times attack boost, which is really, really good for those that particular color, those particular colors. Their switchability is great, because you can get an orb buff as well, and then you switch with Ace Sabo, you can get color affinity. It's just going to work really, really nicely. We have Carrot here. Carrot can remove the defense up, which is awesome. And she's a chain booster as well as an attack booster, which is awesome. Usopp is going to remove the bind on stage 2. On stage 2 for us, which is going to be really, really nice. But I don't even know if you'll need this Usopp. You don't really need anything else on this particular team. So, I guess, replace Usopp with whoever, I guess. But he removes bind, which is really, really nice. Ace is going to remove the threshold, which is going to be excelente, after stage 30, of course. And then we have a chain locker with Cavendish. So this team should work, definitely past level 30, because Ace Sabo is going to hit really, really hard. Cavendish is probably a better option in the early stages. Otherwise, start using him on turn 2, because he'll make those unfavorable orbs matching. I think he's a 3-turn chain locker, isn't he? No, he's 2 turns, so that's fine. You won't carry that into the final stage. He also can... No, he doesn't remove threshold, never mind. So, that's the free-to-play strength team. It should work fairly well. I don't see it having too many issues. But let's move on to the final team now. Final team for the Dex variation. Alright, so the final team for the Dex variation looks a little bit like this. Now, because we are using Ace Sabo as our captain, we did need to replace both Versace and Sabo on the strength team. So, we're going to use them as our captain because they're a rainbow captain, which is nice. We have Luffy Sanji once again. They're a great attack booster. They're going to give us the overheal mechanic as well, which is going to help out really nicely once we get the 5-star plus Kuja Pirates to get above that 50,000 HP. Usohachi's great. He can remove 5 turns of the defense up and the threshold. And then we've got Law. Now, Law here is literally just for his extra damage multiplier, the 1.5, as well as getting that chain buff mechanic with Sengoku. Now, if you don't have Law, just bring a different chain booster. That's going to work absolutely fine. You could easily use something like the Sweet 3. They're a great orb, a chain booster, as well as giving color affinity as well. But the Ace Sabo color affinity is going to be a little bit nicer. And we have the Oro Jackson here as well for those recovery orbs being matching as well. You can just replace Kuja with any meat stick. Maybe Odin to just give, a full board of Wano orbs if you can. But this particular team should work quite nicely. It's going to do a lot of damage. And moving forward, it's going to do a lot. But I do have one more team, like I mentioned at the beginning, thanks to my boy Among Us. So let's have a quick look at that team before we wrap up this video. Alright, so my man's an absolute weapon. Look at this team. This team clears every single 10-star event. Does it with ease and has around 400 to 500 million, apparently, that's what I've been told, damage for all variations. So Luffy's the captain. He's a free spirit booster. You want to bring a friend, Ace Sabo as well. You have Ace Sabo, so you get the max amount of tickets with this team. 2.5 times orb boost to your free spirit and your shooter characters, which his whole team is besides Jumanji. The notable supports is you do need Rayleigh, you do need Corazon, and you need that Chopper. That way you actually get around all the turns of paralysis, the 5 turns of paralysis, which is great. You have the attack down removal with Bobbins, as well as the defense up and the threshold removal. You have Law for a very good orb boost, a rainbow orb boost, as well as the chain multiplier buff. In terms of the lock at 2.5. You have the super typing of Luffy because we have Sanji on the team, so you get the chain buff. So you're starting at a 3.5 times chain lock. And then you just have all those tickets. So this team's going to work absolutely great. So big shout out to my boy Among Us. I will link his Twitter in the description below. I will make sure to do that. So Among Us, if you're watching this, even put a comment on because I might forget. And if I do forget, I will apologize and I will get onto it as soon as possible. I am about to head out the door. So, I may be lacking a little bit here, but I do want to get this video out to you guys as quickly as possible. But that is going to wrap up today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Best of luck in the Alliance, KIZUNA, and as I mentioned, I will have a Super Boss video coming out for you guys in the next couple of hours. Hopefully before 1 o'clock. I really hope I'll be able to get that out for you guys. It'll just be me building my teams. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later!